Hey everyone, my name is Pary, I'm an electrical engineer, and today we're going to watch epic rap battles of history, Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking, to see how accurate this rap battle really is.
Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking!
When I apply my battle theory, minds are relatively blown, so take a seat, Steve. Oh, I see you brought your own. What's with your voice? I can't frickin' tell. You sound like Haney. Having sex fit to speak and spell. I'll school you anywhere, MIT to Oxford. All your fans will be like, that was Harvard. I'm as dope as two rappers, you better be scared, cause that means Albert E equals MC squared.
You've got no idea what you're messing with here, boy. I got 12-inch rims on my chair, that's how I roll, y'all. You look like someone glued a mustache on a troll doll. I'll be stretching up a rhyme like gravity stretches time when you try to put your little pea brain against this kind of mind. On the best, on the Snoop Dogg science, I'll be dropping mad apples on your head from the shoulders of
I was a giant whose shoulders you'd have stood on if you could stand. I'll give you a brief history of pain with the back of my hand. You can't destroy matter or me, for serious. Ripping holes in you bigger than the hole in your black hole theory was.
There are 10 million particles in the universe that we can observe. Your mama took the ugly ones and put them into one nerd. You wanna bring the heat with the mushroom clouds you're making? I'm about to big raps from scratch like Sagan. And while it's true that my work is based on you, I'm a supercomputer, you're like a TI-82. Ooh.
Who won? Who's next? You decide! Albert! Well!
These guys make the coolest videos on YouTube. Like, I don't care what anyone says, this is probably my favorite channel on YouTube besides my own. Einstein's theory of relativity changed the entire world and time and everything in the future. Like, we've all heard that many times. It's probably the most famous equation ever. E equals mc squared. Energy is equal to mass multiplied by the speed of light squared. Speed of light is the c, and c is equal to 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second, which is already an insane amount of speed, and now you're squaring that. Mass is the delta mass. It's a change of mass between the products, which is what you get out of a chemical reaction, and the reactants of what you put into the reaction. And then E is the energy that's produced when the reaction takes place. So why is the equation so important? Before this, scientists did not have a way of relating mass and energy to each other. They accepted that these are just two different dimensions. Like, here's mass, here's energy, we're not sure how they're related, they might be or might not, but no one knows. When two atoms collide with each other in nuclear fission, you need a really big particle, like uranium or plutonium, and a really small particle, like an alpha particle, which is, it's just helium. Like, whenever you see alpha particle, that just means helium. Alpha is just a really fancy, fun way of saying it. And the reason you want a really big particle and a really small particle so that the m in E equals mc squared is the highest it can be, so you can get the most energy out of it. So you take a really giant, heavy, unstable particle like uranium, and then in process of nuclear fission, you launch a helium or alpha particle at it. When you do that, it'll cause the big atom to decay. And when it decays, it's going to release energy in the form of heat, and that is going to excite the other molecules around it, which will excite the other molecules around that, and it's just like a ripple effect that'll affect everything around it. But when you have such a huge difference in mass between these two molecules or atoms, the energy released becomes way more. So that's why your nuclear bomb is just such a insane explosion, because of all that heat it releases and how much range it can actually cover. Like, that's how people use Einstein's equation to create the atom bomb. You can actually make a nuclear fission reaction with different elements that are less heavy than uranium, but you want the heaviest element you can use and the smallest element you can use so that you can get the highest difference in mass, which will produce the most energy when the reaction takes place. Certainly relating energy and mass together to show that the higher mass of an object you have, when it decays, the more energy it releases. That is probably the biggest breakthrough I can think of in science. And it's because this equation affects everything with mass. And it'll affect basically everything in the universe, right? But depending on how much mass you're reacting with and how much you're producing, it's all relative, which is why this is called the theory of relativity. Stephen Hawking, basically his black hole theory says everything gets sucked into a black hole and we have no idea where it goes. I wish I could actually explain more in depth about Stephen Hawking and his research, but I've just never found it as fascinating as other forms of research, and I also don't quite understand it well enough to be able to explain it simply. Thankfully, there's people on the internet who do understand it well enough to explain it simply, and if you want to check that out, the link is in the description below. Just go ahead and click on it. I found this amazing place on Reddit where, like, in like one paragraph, the guy explains exactly how the black hole theory works, and it's genius. I would definitely say that Einstein won that, just based off of what I know about Einstein and my lack of knowledge on Stephen Hawking. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see any future videos, just go ahead and put them in the comments below, and I promise I will get to them as soon as I can. Thank you guys for watching. Stay fresh, stay golden.